Now started?
Okay. So, let's get going and we'll hope for the best.
Perfect.
So,
Tell me.
today I am joined by the well-known surgeon, Dr. Arpit, who is also a gut and longevity specialist in India. And I'm very happy to welcome you to the Peak Vitality podcast today. I believe we have a lot in common, so there's a lot of ground to cover.
Yes. Thank you, Laura, for inviting me on this podcast. And we have been having a lot of synchronicity since the time we met and we connected. And I love this era that you are there, I'm here, and still we can do this podcast. And yes, we definitely have a lot of common things. And I'm excited. And I love the name of the show, the Peak Vitality Podcast.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us.
My pleasure.
So I wanted to tell our listeners a bit about your journey and also your expertise. So you're a well-known surgeon, but you're also a longevity specialist. And you also have a name called the Aquaman.
Biohack.
And I believe, yes, so you are as well a biohacker like myself. And so I just wanted to, if you could share your journey a bit.
100%. So for all the listeners, thank you everybody for coming here and listening to us. We'll talk about very interesting stuff. So I hope you to stay till the end of this podcast. So I am a cancer and a gut surgeon by medical qualification. And I happen to run a hospital, a 100-bedded functional hospital in India, in Prayagraj. In a small city in the north of the country. And I've been a very passionate giver. My father and mother both were doctors. It's this hospital which we are running right now is a private hospital run by my family, started by my mother and father. My father passed away due to some accident like around 10 years back. Since then, I am running this hospital with my mother. And in India, as you know, and gut health is a wide field. And gut health is our first immunity. And many people come to me with gut health issues, with IBS, with piles, with cancer. So I specialize around cancers also in the gut. But since I run the hospital, I do other non-cancerous gut health surgeries also. For example, gallbladder, hernias, etc. Last 3 years back, three and a half years back, I've been having lots of synchronicities by the universe. Universe was giving me lots of signals. Every day I used to, I still do, but now I've decoded what the universe is trying to tell me. Three and a half years back, I used to see number ones, triple numbers every day. And I started even jotting down in my notebook that whether universe is trying to tell me something, is it some code which I will unlock in the future? And then simultaneously, I started asking myself a question that what is my true purpose in life? I was happy by treating patients with a medical perspective, normal with medicines and with surgery. I was very happy. By God's grace, the profession is still currently going well. But when I started asking this question, I used to get answer that my purpose revolves around water. And so I wanted to dive deep into that. And then I started reading books about water. Then I made some concepts about the blue mind and the red mind. The blue mind is the calm mind and the red mind is your stress mind. So all through this, I started going to the root causes, and from there simultaneously I began my biohacking journey, being a health optimist, and then trying to tell people that health is not just disease centering. For most people, still being healthy is, if I don't have any disease, then I'm healthy. But true health is so much more than that. True health is where we thrive, we evolve, we perform continuously, we achieve flow state at will. And we excel in life, and everybody can do this. So that's where my biohacking journey started. And so when I started doing scuba diving. When I was reading about water, then I devised things like underwater meditations. I was measuring my HRV, So I have integrated all of this into my clinical practice, and for whomsoever patient is ready in India, not everybody is there yet. Not everybody is ready to in this biohacking or health optimization journey. Many people are still struggling with diseases and low health vitality. So where person is starting, I guide them to help them fight disease and then to work towards their own health optimization journey.
And that's I think that's fantastic, because yes, a lot of doctors, they don't teach this stuff at medical school.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
it's all about treating patients after the illness has already occurred.
Since you mentioned medical school, I would like to say, like, since you mentioned medical school, one of the most important concepts about health and longevity and vitality, we are not taught in our medical schools. For example, one key one is sleep. The entire chapter in sleep, there is a lymphatic system which clears our brain toxins and brain waste in our sleep, which prevents from dementia, etc., etc. Lymphatic system. There are so many things, the types of sleep, how to better sleep. And sadly in India and maybe even other parts of the world, people, gut and the brain are connected. We'll probably talk a little bit in ahead. And people get anxiety, and these days depression and everything is so linked. So people prescribe and take anti-anxiety and anti-sleeping pills so common, which the solution is so much simpler than that, and no side effect symptoms.
Yes, I know plenty of friends who are actually put on antidepressants when they were starting to go through perimenopause, and they just didn't have their hormones checked. And so I think a lot of people are waking up that you can sort of take control back of your health, and you need to treat women especially in a sort of holistic, integrative fashion.
Yeah,
and that the body is a beautiful, complicated bunch of systems, and you can't just treat one thing often. You have to. So if you just look at, you're obviously a gut specialist, but if you look at the impact of your gut microbiome and everything from poor diet and glucose levels to everything from, if your gut lining is damaged, then that can affect your serotonin production,
100%.
which can in turn affect your libido, and so your enjoyment of life and your mood. And so, yes, I think you have to, the second brain, it's all...
See, first of all, everything is collected. And when you talk about, brilliantly put that specifically females, but also males, I think the holistic healing is the future of medicine. But saying that we need to go back to the roots, connect to our nature. So I have devised a 4-body biohacking blueprint. Like we have been always taught and conditioned that we have only one body, nurture it, take care of it. And sadly, many people still, when they talk about health or health optimization or just trying to focus on health, we only limit ourselves to our physical body. So I say that there are 4 bodies. The physical body is the earth body, because when we die, our physical body literally goes back to our earth. Then our second is our water. So we have to biohack and optimize our physical body, which is obviously nutrition, sleep, working on your VO2 max, working on your muscle strength, and sleep is also very important for your physical body recovery. Then comes the second body, is the emotional body or the water body, because water and emotions both flow within us and outside of us. And here is the magic about heart rate variability, how the parameter which measures resilience. And in current life, I think the biggest parameter of any disease, of any life issues, is stress. And stress leads to inflammation. And it is up to you how you can make your bodies, the other 3 bodies also, I'll be mentioning 2 bodies, how you can make them resilience, so that whenever there is stress, you cannot avoid stress. You have to make your body resilient enough. When there is stress on your body, it is adaptable and it goes through for example, if there is a stress, the heart rate will rise. But if you can train yourself, even in extremely stressful situations, your heart rate will not rise compared to a non-resilient person. And then
Well, that's,
and
I was going to say, that's where biohacking comes in.
that's exactly where biohacking comes in.
It's about stressing the body enough to build strength and resilience, but not too much
Yes.
to
So
accelerate.
you have to do hormesis like in a balanced way, but you have to know how you can calm it down. And as you said, so this can be only and only done, which most doctors don't realize, is when you approach the body from a holistic way. And so the other bodies after emotional and the other water bodies are air or mental body. That's where we were talking about anxiety, depression. So if you want to get through those, you can't just limit yourself popping a pill on your physical body and expecting that your air or your mental body heals.
Yeah.
You have to do things, for example, reading, for example, neuroplasticity, for example, learning new languages. So
Yeah.
you have to,
And your mindset as well.
absolutely, mindset is everything.
And so when when we were talking about stressing the body and things like, things like cold plunge and
Yes.
stuff like that, it's you want to, because chronic stress, as we were just discussing, is probably the biggest silent killer out there.
Biggest, and I think it's the cause of, it's a cause of inflammation, and we are aging because ultimately we are inflaming at a cellular level, at a mitochondrial level, and ice baths, cold plunges are a beautiful way, and nothing new about it. I think all our ancestors, specifically our cultural ancestors, they used to have cold plunges and cold baths in rivers, but we are now devising these techniques, and I know at least a dozen, at more than 25, 30 people live, which the traditional medicine had failed them, but people have recovered from Lyme's disease, people have recovered from cancer by working around the element water. That is why I call myself the Aquaman biohacker. So cold plunges is one extreme and way where we can balance, and as you rightly said, we can stress our body to the optimal and then make ourselves resilient and not overdoing it. But it's a good debate specifically for the women when it comes to ice bath, that whether ice...
Go into shock much quicker.
So I think that is, again, women have to sync their biohacks to their cycle, and like the follicular phase, the first 14 days, the ice baths and the hormesis like saunas, contrast therapies can be much more extreme because body handles stress that time better. And the second part, the luteal phase, the metabolism and the cortisol sensitivity increase. So in this case, you may not avoid ice baths. You can reduce the intensity. You can do it a little colder, a little less cold temperature, and you can do it for a lesser time. And obviously during menses, you should avoid.
Yes. And then have you read the book? I think is it Emoto with the water crystals?
Yes, I have read that.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that because I remember when I read that first time. And for our listeners, it's the Japanese scientists who did studies on
the structure of water.
The ones you give sort of positive affirmations to turn into beautiful crystals, and the ones you give negative energy turn into ugly.
And there was an extended study where you water a plant with positive energy water and negative energy water, and the plant also feels that. So yes, sometimes when you talk as a doctor, when you talk in front of people about these, people believe that there's some psychic element involved in this, energetic element involved in this. But I feel in the current age, we are living in a the coming age is of quantum biology. And with quantum biology, even more the water element, the magic of water element comes even more brighter and more forward. Because, for example, when I do underwater meditations, when I sink below the water, the silence and the breath merge. And it feels like I'm entangled with the universe. It actually feels...
We all know, yes, the beauty of nature, and grounding.
Yes.
To walk barefoot and to swim in nature, and how amazing that it is as an anti-stressor as well.
So, yeah, exactly. When you talk, so this structured water thing, again, when I started 3 years back, I read all this, and I have like been envisioning a lot of experimental things about structured water, how you can heal diseases by consuming Kangen water and alkaline water and different kinds of water. But ultimately, it is the element water is naturally, and we all are water beings. Nobody can say that there are some people who are scared of water, definitely, but those people are due to some mental trauma during the childhood or some past life memory. That's rare. But otherwise, there is no exception. Every one of us,
The world, right?
yeah, everyone is of the first 9 months we are living underwater, and the baby, they have its gill arches similar to the people who some aquatic animals who breathe underwater, because ultimately first 9 months he gets all his oxygen supply from being underwater inside the mother's womb. So we cannot say that we are not. And I think there will be a future thing where we all will be able to breathe underwater again. Like the humans will evolve into beings like the avatars, the movies. All these are imaginations, but I think the evolution, because again, as you also know, I also know, universal coincidences doesn't exist in the universe. Universal design is like a hologram, and everything is connected, and there are no coincidences. And whenever you feel in your life, you, me, or anybody who feel that we are uttering the word coincidence too commonly in our life, then it is a time that you should understand that universe is trying to tell you to evolve. And there is a big coincidence right in our faces. The planet Earth has 70% water. Our human body, when we are born, is 70% water. So how can this number be a random coincidence in the beautiful design of universe? We are meant to connect with water in much deeper ways. That's what I believe, and that's why I am the Aquaman biohacker. And this is my mission to the world. So water is one thing. For example, blue mind is my main concept, which I tell when I tour, that whenever you are near water. So what is the blue mind state? Blue mind is a state of calm, peace, mental happiness, a sense of happiness, sense of calm in the given moment.
Parasympathetic.
Yes.
The sympathetic.
Yes. So everybody, for example, if you have a park, if you have a forest park and there is a lake, automatically when you see the lake in the park, you sense a calm, and everybody would obviously respond to it differently. Somebody would want to sit near the lake. Somebody would want to jump into the lake. Somebody would want to just gaze the water surface of the lake. So, but that element of water, even if you are just close your eyes and just put some water sound songs, it will take you to another way, and it will take you to alpha waves. Your mind will automatically get calm. And in the current life which we are living, everybody's running, has so many tasks to do. From the moment we wake up, we switch on our task-based network. We have to do this.
Which cortisol.
Yeah, and that is where which increases the cortisol. And when we are stuck in that task-based network, we lose connection to the universal consciousness, because that comes in the default brain network, your zone of your mind or your brain, where you can access literally the superconscious. Like I was reading a book,
like in a theta state.
In a theta. So I was reading a book the other day. From again, not a coincidence, but I am going to this conference in Berlin called as the Existential Research Consciousness Institute, where we talk about what consciousness is. And there have been many studies and many people to try that. Where do your thoughts actually exist? Is your thoughts exist in a particular area of your brain? Nobody could answer this, because the thoughts are cannot be pinpointed with MRIs, with anything. They are not there in any specific area of your brain. They are just there. And if you connect to the theta waves, the alpha waves, and even the slower ones, sometimes the gamma wave, you can actually, like me and you, and we have this super consciousness, and we can actually connect and gather information which we have never read, because we can access this state of consciousness. That's why we are all living in a quantum biology world, and very few people know about this right now.
Yes. It's funny you mention all this, because yesterday I had a friend come over, and she's gotten into energy healing.
Mm-hmm.
And so she gave me a energy test, and which was really fascinating. And then she has energy charged drops. It was designed by a doctor scientist.
So I'm wearing these this quantum Nina quantum EMF device. It balances my electromagnetic radiations. Like, for example, I'm sitting on a laptop screen. There are so many devices. So all these this neutralizes the electromagnetic radiations.
Yeah,
it has been
I have the Aries.
Yeah.
Aries tech.
Yeah. So this is the and as you mentioned about energy medicine. So
So these are charged water particles
yes.
that you could take to heal whatever your issues are.
So
So I think we're starting to raise awareness now.
yes, absolutely.
And there are scientists and doctors like yourself who are starting to experiment with this field, and it's really it's fascinating and quite extraordinary. So it's an exciting time.
It's a super interesting time. And here I would, since you mentioned about energy medicine, I would clear a little bit about this to our listeners, that why is the pharma industry or the medicine mainly revolving around pharma industries? Because till now, we all believe that we are biochemical beings, and all our chemical reactions or everything, like our thought process, for example, our depression on antidepressant, you give pills to suppress our serotonin reuptake, and then ultimately increase the serotonin in our brain. So you get treated of the depression. That is the chemical way to treat depression, biochemical way. And obviously there is lots of money in the big pharma, and everybody's making, all the pharma companies are making lots of newer medicines. But it is time to evolve our mindset, as you said, that healing or medicines is not just chemical way, because all our what happens at a cellular level, the chemical receptors, they interact with the different key lock mechanism of the receptors, and they activate the receptors. But now it has been proven that all those receptors are also activated by energy, by radiations, by things which are not chemical. So we are bio-quantum beings. We are not just biochemical beings.
Yes, and that's what biohacking as well is about your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Taking the lifestyle modifications, that can have a profound impact on your well-being.
So true, yeah.
And so just raising that awareness, and so whether it's the stress management and the fitness. I mean, people don't realize the benefits on your mental health.
Exactly. And
Everything is
not just fitness, but even ice baths. So I believe that ice baths are great for your physical body recovery, but it builds your mental resilience like nothing else. And it even builds your emotional resilience. And if you do it in the right balance way, it also is a channel to open your spiritual awakening, or making your spiritual resilience stronger. Because once you are able to do things which your mind says that it's fucking cold, don't jump into that 0-degree ice, or if you're in Norway, don't jump into that river. But once you jump into it, your body doesn't feel cold. It's always your mind who says, oh, it's cold, you need to get out. So your body and your mind are actually two different things, and we just try to associate that with fear mindset. So again, biohacking isn't about gadgets. It's about the wisdom, about syncing our biology with the nature's rhythm. And I always love to connect ourselves with our hunter-gatherer approach. When we used to live in the jungles, we used to wake up with sunrise, because there were no alarm clocks, there were no phones, there were no WhatsApp, there was no notifications. We used to wake up as the sun's rays, beautiful rays, used to come into our eyes, and we used to wake up. And then movement was a natural part of our life. We used to walk kilometers, run and chase animals. And we didn't need to go plan and do exercise, but and then after a day of active day movement, we used to hunt our food, or we used to forage some natural vegetarian food, whatever, wherever we were. And in the night, after sunset, we didn't have, and again we didn't have any other thing to do. We used to just probably light a fire, cook our meal, and then go to bed as the sun would tell us to do. But now, what have we done to our lives? You tell me.
Yes. And I was going to say there was more sort of community.
Yes.
I think people live such isolated lives now often.
Absolutely.
And if you look at the blue zone, it's the same thing. Most of them are near water. Most of them rely on local produce and home cooking. Most of them rely on family and friends, community.
Dancing. There's so many dancing.
Yes. They either live on a hill in Italy,
yes, yes,
Greece, or by the water,
Okinawa, yeah, in Japan,
gardening, and you're moving every day. And so yes, it's the same principles. I think we've just been taken away from our roots and our natural, source energy, and we need to, to look at this and people often don't realize that sort of the meaningful connections as well are vital for health and longevity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's and that we're all energetic beings, and so I think as well for like accountability. That's why I try to sort of say it's great if you can, grab a friend and do this journey together.
No, that's absolutely true. And another so around the 2000s and to early 2000s, when DNA was discovered and when the genetics were a very, very fascinating field for everybody, people's genes were discovered and the DNA structure were discovered by the Watson and Crick. Then people used to believe that, for example, my parents have diabetes genes, my parents have obesity genes, so then I will get diabetes or obesity automatically. But in the coming decades, we all are, nowadays, everything is crystal clear that we are definitely genes control our lives, but they only control up to 10 to 20% of our lives. The rest, 80 to 90% is our lifestyle, which you were saying.
Yes.
And that lifestyle is how we interact with our environment. And the key to that is obviously the area where we live, the air we breathe, but the key is our gut microbiome, the thousands and crores of bacteria which live in our gut and which interact with everything you eat and everything you drink, and the diversity. So again, back to my nature analogy, I believe that our gut is a true rainforest. If you walk into a rainforest, there are big trees, there are small trees, there are bushes, there are some small plants, some weeds, some fungi, some mushrooms, everything in the forest. So it's like a super organism. And there are not, you don't want like 100% good trees in a forest. There are some bad trees, there are some, but so it's like a community living together, as you said, blue zones. And that's what true health is. So for our gut health, we need the diversity of a rainforest. When you envision or see inside our gut, it has to be a mixture. You don't want to target 100% good bacteria. A little bit of balance is accepted in nature, and that's how nature thrives actually. So I often give this metaphor that your body is a piano and your genome is the keys, definitely. So, but the epigenome or the epigenetics or the interaction is how we play them. Even the keys definitely decide what musical note will play. But it's up to us who's playing the keys. And women about over 50 specifically, they enter a new melody, and like you keep changing the melody of your life. So you have to keep understanding and interacting with the right epigenome or epigenetics. What are your takes about that, Laura?
Very, very interesting. And I was thinking when you were talking about good and bad bacteria. And I was thinking that sometimes, we can err on the side of caution, like as a mother. I think we went through a period where we were sort of over sanitizing.
Yes. No, even I have gone through. Yeah.
And protecting our kids too much.
Yes.
And that actually contributes to allergies.
Absolutely.
We're doing the reverse of what we actually want to do.
For example, in India, even in abroad, my grandmother and my grandparents, they at their age, everybody used to play in the dust, in the sand. They used to
Play in the mud.
They used to put the mud in their mouth, and nobody used to get nutritional deficiencies. Nobody used to get allergies. No, everybody was happy. But now, specifically with COVID and even before COVID, we sanitize our tables with antibacterial solution. We even kill all the bacteria by using mouthwash, and it is clearly labeled on the mouthwash. It kills 99.99 bacteria, percent of all bacteria. So society
That's good. You ready?
Society is conditioned us that bacteria word is bad, but this is so wrong. We need to, again, this gut microbiome issue is not mentioned in the right way in our medical studies. Even after becoming MBBS, we were not aware about the good bacteria, and nobody is. So, and with the changing lifestyle, I desperately believe that there is a time. It's the time to change the curriculum. We have the physics. We have been only taught is only classical physics. We are not taught about the quantum physics. The biology is all not important to the gut microbiome, to the depth of sleep. I believe sleep is the most important chapter in neuroscience, which as medical students we are not stressed upon.
Yeah, sleep is totally vital. And I was from the generation where I said, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I didn't do my papers at 3 a.m. at Harvard.
No, even I in my medical school, I used to feel proud that I've slept only 2 hours and I can do this, I can do surgeries, I can do everything, and with just 2 hours of sleep. But that there was so much, you
glorify the hustle.
Yeah.
And then you realize, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yes.
Accelerating your aging.
Absolutely.
Sleep is the one time that you create growth hormone and that you recover. And that you build muscle and all the
everything happens in the sleep. And for all the youngsters listening, till 30, 35, your body may tolerate the offsets of sleep, but it is still not good. But after 30, 35, if you are not sleeping adequately, minimum 7 to 8 hours, ideally 8, but I say 7 because practically not every time possible for everybody to do 8 hours.
Yes.
But you are if you do just sleep properly and without disturbance, ideally with a good environment, ideally with a good temperature, no alarm clocks, no phone, and then you reset everything, like your sleep, your brain. Next day you're fresh, your mental acuity is sharp, your gut resets, your liver resets. So in that your liver detoxifies all the toxins. Your human body is beautifully and capable of removing all the toxins from our body. Has anti-cancer cells, has all the mechanism to repair the DNA mismatch which is happening. But we need to give body time. Same, we need nature. We need to let nature be, because we are destroying forest, and if you just stop cutting the patch of forest and just let nature be, and come after 1 year, nature would have regrown and it would probably be thriving and flourishing without your help. Nature does things automatically. Nature doesn't need your help.
Great. Yes. Yeah. So we need to preserve nature as well, and
so I always say that longevity for our planet and for us is conserving the biodiversity both within us, so the biodiversity of the gut and the biodiversity outside of us. So that's the only way where we can live healthy, and we can even keep our planet healthy. And because we are very selfish people, if we keep telling people that save nature, don't throw plastic, and don't burn trees, don't destroy animals and species, then unless it comes down to our own health and our own personal benefit, the humans don't care about nature. So that is if the biodiversity is connecting, if you're destroying outside, you're destroying inside, the same thing.
Yes, yes. And I think, yes, it's so important. And when you're talking about the biodiversity, and I was just thinking how you touched on mental health as well. And I was thinking how, you know, how how many people get Alzheimer's and get, you know, age-related disease and decline, and everything from, it can start, as you said, cancer can start with the in the gut microbiome.
Absolutely.
It can start if you have bad, you know, a lot of teeth decay. That can increase your chance of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's as well. So it's interesting that you know, if you want to affect everything from your cognitive abilities and your neuroplasticity, you have to look at everything else. And you know, but nature's the same way. Nature's all connected, and if you you know, it's so beautifully but inextricably linked.
Yeah, that's the most beautiful part of that. Everything is linked, and our gut-brain connection makes sure that we don't get dementia. And for example, so ultimately, why does eating sugar and why does eating inflammatory food is linked to getting dementia? Because once you or cancer or any metabolic disease or obesity or thyroid or allergies, everything is ultimately linked to consumption of inflammatory foods or inflammatory products. Because every product, for example, you go and you hear that avocado is superfood, but I always say that there is no superfood for everybody. Avocado is definitely a good food. It's healthy fat. It's but or probably beetroot is healthy. Berries are healthy. Berries have lots of polyphenols. But ultimately, it matters. It is very individualized, and that's what the coming health, and with AI, precision and personalized health is going to be the future, because everybody's body is different. For example, I was curious, and I'm a health optimist crazy, so I got my own gut microbiome tested, and it was like my gut had 5,000 species of good bacteria, 5,000 species of bacteria in general. 1 or 2% were bad, which is okay. We don't need to remove those 1-2 bad percent, because again, as we discuss it's a super community, and in community, we need to have the good and the bad in the balance. But
it's like if you eliminate the sharks, then we're gonna have mother for other problems.
Absolutely.
You need the balance.
You need a balance. In nature, always exists in balance. So once you, for example, an avocado, somebody can eat, and if they don't have the right set of bacteria to digest the avocado can cause bloating to them, can cause gastritis. So even an avocado is not a superfood for everybody. There is actually no superfood for everybody. It is a very individualized approach, and and you can almost think like there's a bacteria to digest every set of food. And if those set of bacteria are present in your body, it is a non-inflammatory, it is a beneficial food for you. If those sets of bacteria are not present in your body, it is an inflammatory food for you, which can bring, if it is very, very aggressively inflammatory, then it can give you acute inflammation. If it is chronic inflammation, then that is the root cause of cancer, arthritis, allergies, and diabetes, and even Alzheimer's. So this is how our gut is directly linked to everybody, every part of our bodies.
Yes, I find it fascinating. And I think, but that's where biohacking comes in. It's all about self-experimentation.
Yes.
And discovering your own body and you can start with the basic blood tests and find out if you have any allergies or, you know, I have some intolerances, and I have Reese's negative blood type, and so I feel better on a protein-based diet.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and so I always encourage my clients or friends to just get experimenting. And
And I believe, yeah, as you rightly
for you, whether
Yes,
it's HRT or it's diet, and it's just so much good awareness of the things to avoid as well, like the sweeteners and the processed food.
absolutely. So I believe, like as you rightly said, biohacking is experimenting with your own self. But when you look at Brian Johnson videos or other fancy biohackers, sometimes some people believe that biohacking is only something extraordinary for athletes or for astronauts. But I have a mission that to tell everybody that biohacking is basically connecting to your own roots, connecting to your earth, body, water body.
You don't need money. You don't need money.
Yes, you just need awareness. You just need awareness. And by awareness, so for example, if you eat anything inflammatory, your body will 100% give you signs. Those signs can be whispers. If you are connected to your body, your energetic body, then you will understand those whispers, and you will you can tweak your body that, oh, I had this and I have some gastritis. I had that and I have some constipation. That is the level of awareness, which sadly, because most people are pretty busy in their red mind again, they are not able to connect to their own awareness. And that is the root of biohacking. You need to be synced with your biology, and you need to, you need to be aware and listening to all the whispers. And one day, if you don't listen to your whispers, then ultimately it becomes cancer and it starts screaming, and then you need, maybe it becomes appendicitis and it starts screaming pain, and then you need to visit a doctor and get a surgery done.
Yes. Whereas if you're aware,
yes,
you can catch it soon enough and make some incremental changes.
So people who have not been aware till now, see, there are some people who are very aware, like you and me, and we are discussing so many things. So for listeners, the way to start biohacking right now is, first of all, be grounded, connect to your physical body, water body, emotional body, air, or the mental body, and your spiritual body. Always try to ask yourself a question, that what are you here for? What is your purpose? Your purpose can be small or big, that doesn't matter. But you are here to make a difference. And so these things keep you grounded. And if once you have a purpose in life, you have a drive, then you don't get diseases, you don't get weak, you don't get tired, you don't get low mindset. So, then check your level of awareness. If you are, suppose, obviously you are busy with your office life, there are so many people who are busy in their lives and they have not been aware, but they want to start now. Then they need to start measuring things. Obviously, they have to increase their level of awareness so that start to understand and tune with your body. And if you feel that you're not there because there is so many mental chatter, there is so much stress in that environment and in your family, or etc., then you start measuring your values, because with the rings, you can measure your.
I was going to say, everyone loves the data wearable,
So I love the rings.
Data-driven technology, which I think is fun. I think I've tried all of them, but I do tell people, you need to have the knowledge first.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's good, and then because otherwise you're not going to know how to interpret the data.
And that also, and then data can be wrong also. So
yes.
So
and also I think sometimes people get so stressed.
Exactly.
They wake up and I'm like, well, if it causes more stress, then don't wear it.
Yes.
It defeats the purpose.
Exactly. Totally defeats the purpose. But at the same time, if you don't measure things, then you cannot improve things. Simple. If you don't measure any, so again, you have to do the variables with a blue mind, not with a red mind. Like if I love to track my sleep, but I don't. There were days, I'm being frank, when I started getting up in the morning and used to see my sleep score first thing in the morning. And even though I felt that I had slept nicely, but my gadget, my rings or my aura or my Whoop didn't have a great sleep score, so it started playing in my mind. So then, obviously, it only played in my mind for a week. Then I got over it. Now it doesn't matter. Now actually, these variables help you in times of stress, when you're traveling, when you're doing when I came to Chicago. So at that time, it is more important to gather your data forget about your score being bad, but it is how your body responds to stress is how is resilient. So that is when you are not able to sleep properly one night because of your kid. You have twins. I have a 8-year-old daughter. So we all have some, and if like a few days back, my daughter had severe ear pain. So however biohacking I do, I couldn't sleep properly those nights.
My son has an ear infection. I so well.
So exactly. So these you have to keep measuring, but obviously you cannot start playing in your mind. And at whichever capacity you can try to better your numbers. Also, you need to know that numbers, sometimes these are gadgets and their technology is not always right. So it is always better to look at the trends than to absolute numbers. Like, for example, heart rate variability. It is a parameter which is difficult to measure in the rings. So I am wearing 4 devices right now: the Aura Ring, the Ultra Human, the Gabit, the Whoop Band. And right now, if I show you scores, you will be surprised because the heart rate variability are quite different in all the 3-4 parameters. So
interesting. Yeah.
Again, telling that we cannot rely on numbers, but we need to rely on the trends. Things.
Yes. And research too, because I think like I had the lingo for a bit and was monitoring my glucose levels. I had something called PCOS.
Yes.
It's just a little bit of like a pre-diabetes at the ovaries. But so I always took milo-inositol and things like that, which are actually good for blood sugar levels. But and so I've researched that area a bit. So I know about berberine, and I also know
berberine is beautiful. Berberine is one of the best things.
But I get hypoglycemic
with berberine.
So I have to. Whereas there are other supplements like L-lysine. There are some amino acids which can have similar effect, which are very good with like pre-diabetics. That you'd say if you don't need metformin, you can try these other supplements. So as we were saying, it's just understanding the nuances as well of the female body as well, whether you have that.
So I was talking to one of my other friends. She's based in UK, and she has done some research on PCOS with specifically like 40-50 year age group and ice baths. I believe like ice baths have a great potential to reset any hormonal balance, which PCOS ultimately is a kind of hormonal balance and metabolic imbalance. But obviously you need to follow what is right for your body. Like as we already discussed, in the follicular phase, you can be a little more aggressive or more colder for longer duration in your ice baths. But during the gentle luteal phase, you need to go gentle on your body. And supplements, there is so much to talk about supplements. So
we'll save that for the next one.
Yeah.
For the next podcast.
Yes.
We've covered so much already.
Yes, so much. I think of it's already 50 minutes. I didn't realize. I was in flow. So I will end the thing with a flow state, because flow state is my biggest mental biohack. And people need to understand. So what is flow? Flow is a state of mind like we were in for the last 51 minutes. Time passed strangely, and we couldn't know that 51 minutes have passed. It felt like we have been talking for a long time, but we were just flowing with our thoughts. And in flow state is actually a neurochemical cocktail in our brain, where there is noradrenaline, there is dopamine, there is serotonin, there is oxytocin, our connection chemical, there is endorphins, and there is anandamide. So there is a 6 brain neurochemical cocktail. And we all can train ourselves to be in more flow more often. And your productivity goes to 500% in flow state. So, but again, the key parameter which is missing for getting more flow in life for most people is recovery. You need to recover properly in the night to be able to in more flow state. And
yes,
I believe it's the most powerful thing. You should start your day with optical flow. That's what I call it. Like go out in nature during the first hour of your waking up, do yoga or whatever, just try to move with seeing trees or seeing green. Because once you start moving outdoors, not indoors, outdoors, then
A
you
bit of morning sunshine and
yes,
free.
and you move. So there is optical flow. Then optical flow triggers your neurochemical flow, and then you start flowing in life, and then everything seems to happen automatically and seems to fall in place.
Folks, yes. I think I'm being interrupted. I apologize. And sit pretty. Sorry.
No problem.
My son. But so yes, I love this closing on the flow state idea. So I'm second. But anyway, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Laura. It was amazing interacting with you, and let's keep flowing in life. So since I'm the Aquaman biohacker, my favorite line is "Go with the flow," and I think I shared you my song, right? "Go with the flow."